Hi, I'm Maria Bailey, and I'm the author of Marketing to the Modern Mom and Trillion Dollar Moms and Marketing to Moms, among other books. I'm also the CEO of BSM Media, the largest marketing to mom agency. We have been doing it for 25 years, or as I like to say, since long before influence was a job title, it was a verb, and that's when I started my agency. We also run the largest network of exclusively mom influencers and content creators. It's the largest in the world. And we work with hundreds of thousands of moms that have both online and offline influence. So you've come to the right place. Today, what I wanted to address is 50 insights and stats that brands should know about mom consumers. Now, of course, I'm not going to give you all 50, but I will post them in the comments in the description below. But let's just talk about a few of them that might be able to add some value and some strategy behind your next Marketing to Moms campaign. So did you know that moms are the largest pool of consumers in the United States and that they control approximately $4.3 trillion a year? That makes them the largest consumer group out there. So when people ask me, why should I be focusing on mom? Well, because they buy everything. They buy everything from cars to their husband's shaving cream, to food, to technology. They have an input on just about everything. Did you know that only 25% of today's family comprise a mom, dad, and child? So if you are still using what you think is the 50s, 1950s that is, traditional mom, dad, and child image, then you're only really marketing and making your content relatable to about 25% of today's mom. Over 40% of families are involved in elder care, expanding the household spending beyond the front door and into someone else's home. So often, because they're busy moms, they will buy the same product and the same brands for not only themselves, but that 40% of extended family that they are taking care of. So moms, again, yield a lot of buying power in the United States. 60% of grandparents, like myself, now regularly purchase products for their grandchildren. Do you know a secret about what my grandmother name is? You know, nobody actually is called grandma anymore. My grandparent name is Spoiler, which is really funny when your grandkid calls you Spoiler in front of other people. But it's not that I spoil them with a lot of things. Well, maybe I do, but I'm one of those 60% of grandparents that actually buy products for my grandchildren. So it's just as important sometimes to think about, how do I market not only to the Gen Z mom who's buying product for their own home, but her mom who happens to be a boomer or a millennial or a Gen Xer or boomer. So if you can relate to not only the grandparent, you can rely on that grandparent to market products or introduce her own children to products for their household as well. Single dads, because a lot of people often ask, should I be marketing to the father as well? Single dads comprise 2.6 million of today's family population. So the answer is sure, market to dads as well. It's just that my expertise happens to be in moms, and so that's what I focus on. Almost 1 million dads, however, are stay-at-home dads, and that number continues to rise. It's only actually ever gotten about above 1.2 million, and I've been doing this for 25 years. So the number still is relatively small, but it does exist and it is growing. More than 15% of Gen Zs say the number one retail location is a secondhand or a thrift store. So for those of you who have the opportunity to perhaps do some kind of exchange program, Gen Z moms are very practical and they like to be wise with their money. So you might want to consider some kind of trade-in or trade-up program or upcycling program when it comes to your marketing initiatives to get the Gen Z shopper into your brick and mortar store or onto your online storefront. Only 1 in 5 Gen Zers actually have a bank balance or could tell you what is in their bank account. So that's kind of interesting when you think of transactional occasions when it comes to a Gen Z mom. It's amazing to me when I asked service providers often, do you have a way for me to digitally pay for my exterminator bill or my lawn man or, my garage door upkeep? And they say no. And I can't help but think, okay, well, you are literally alienating a large consumer group because most Gen Zers only pay through digital transactions. 17% of Gen Zers plan to live with their parents as long as possible to save money. That's a bad statistic for moms like me, isn't it? Let's move on. More than 85% of Gen Z trust word of mouth recommendations from friends over advertisements. So I always encourage brands to get familiar with Reddit and Quora because that's where today's moms are going to find real life answers to their product questions and their challenges. And just a couple quick facts to round out our session today. And don't forget, I will be pasting all 50 insights below, but Gen Zs prefer authenticity and visual storytelling. That's why videos like on TikTok are so popular. Gen Z moms are very intentional in the way that they parent, and parenting is part of their identity, but they are writing their own narrative. So you want to be a part of their narrative instead of communicating your own narrative. And then Gen Zers consume media different than anyone before. They like the imperfection. They like lived experiences over high production. And if you are a brand, you need to think about being imperfect along with them. If you have any questions about the Gen Z mom or moms today, I am happy to answer your questions. Please put them in the comments or you can email me, maria@bsmmedia.com.